So as I'm sure you know, the Cowboys and Rams had their joint practice today, kind of a simulation as opposed to putting the starters out there in the preseason. The late, even Pacific time practice, was 2 p.m. Pacific time was when it started. Doesn't work for me picking up Olivia when my wife is out of town. So this is a little bit of a different hybrid style video where I'm filming most of it at home, but producer Chris was kind enough to stay late and film some other graphics that we can do full screen. So it's a little bit different, but I still wanted to talk about it and have some fancy graphics that make it look cool. I do it because I love the Cowboys, and I talk about the Cowboys, and it's a big deal for me. If you guys love the Cowboys as well, this is the right spot for you. Hit that sub button for free Cowboys videos, not just every day, but multiple times per day right here on the Cowboys Report.
All right, so let's get into this joint practice takeaway hybrid at-home video. That's why the audio is going to sound a little bit different there. Let's begin with the Dak Prescott passing offense, since I don't know how much we're going to actually see the starters play this preseason. I think in particular, the Dak Prescott, Brandin Cooks connection looks really sharp. I think it looks sharp, especially in today's practice when they had time. Look, I think this offense, in terms of like the high-level stuff, going where we want this team to go and not just being a 9-10 win team that gets playoff disappointment again. It's going to go as the offensive line takes them. Chuma Edoga got a lot of reps. They're being very safe with Tyler Guyton. He still seems to be at least a little bit under the weather. Edoga's just not that good. I thought Austin Richards kind of maybe regressed a little bit as well, getting some reps against Jared Verse from what I saw. Edoga's just not good. So we'll see if Guyton plays in the preseason. I kind of hope Edoga gets more reps in the preseason. I don't know if it's going to change, but I am worried about that left tackle spot if Guyton's not out there. We've got a month till the season. He's going to be out there. I'm not worried about that part, but I think the offensive line still has room to grow, which is to be expected with where we're at and what they did last offseason. Let's go to tight ends. I thought John Stevens had a nice day. A couple touchdown passes from kind of everybody. We'll come back to him, by the way, on the special teams side of things. Jake Ferguson, I thought, made plays. He had a nice seam shot as well. Jalen Tolbert made plays. We'll talk about the ground game here in a second, by the way. But a lot of the same drum beats you've heard. Ferguson's going to be a key part. Tolbert looks really good. I don't think there was necessarily anything overly shocking with what happened today at Cowboys joint practices from what we've seen previously. Oh, we'll talk about injuries at the very end as well, so stay tuned for that. But seems like they escaped today's practice with no new injuries, I think on either side for the Cowboys and for the Rams.
We'll have a couple different weigh-ins here throughout today's show that we will hit with the fancy graphics and whatnot. So first up, should the Cowboys starters play in the preseason? Y for yes, N for no. If the ad happens to come here on YouTube, that's just fine. Take advantage of it. Head down there. Y for yes, N for no.
Stock ground game. Seemed like Rico Dowdle got the first carry, by the way. Maybe that was just the first one that got posted, but seemed like Rico got the first rep, and it was a pretty good rep. Left side, found the space behind Tyler Smith. I will say, I think Zeke had a few nice runs. A couple of times he showed some vision and got some yardage. There's a clear burst difference there. Like, Dowdle is just more explosive at this stage in their careers. Zeke with on a pass protection rep that went down as a de facto sack. He fumbled. Can't have those things. So I think it's pretty clear Rico and Zeke right now are the 1-2 in the backfield for this Cowboys team. I would still very much be searching for another option. There was no Royce Freeman, no Deuce Vaughn. Nate Peake got some reps down the stretch. I doubt we're going to see any of those guys in the first preseason game. That's going to kind of make it a wash, I think, from a ground game perspective. So hopefully we'll talk about Trey Lance and get him involved there. Again, ground game is really leaning heavily on that offensive line to be better and to kind of change things from what we saw last year. But I still just wonder, and until we see real games and things changing, I guess I'm not going to change my mind on it. I got to see something very different out there to believe that this ground game is going to be better than what it's been in previous years and be better when it matters most come playoff time.
Today's Cowboys Report is made possible by our good friends over at Game Time. Game Time is the place for last-minute tickets to next event. Could be an MLB game. Maybe go watch the Rangers or wherever you watch baseball games at, since this is America's team after all. Always keep an eye out for ways to save yourself money on the Game Time app. That could be a zone deal. You pick the section, Game Time picks the seats for big-time savings. Last-minute deals, up to 60% off when you're buying last-minute tickets to whatever event you're going to. Flash deals, exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game or the event. Game Time is the place for buying tickets to your next baseball game, Cowboys game, whatever. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. So download the Game Time app, create your account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. But again, create your account, redeem code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today for last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Let's talk special teams then. I thought David Durden had a nice return. Yeah, I made the point. I made it a couple times now, and I'll make it in my preseason, in our preseason preview too. Special teams matters. That extra kick return spot, I think, is going to come into play. I think they want to have two guys back there. Turpin's obviously one. Who's the second? David Durden got some run, and I think Cowboys Rams getting some extra practice in there. Once this video is out, I'm going to go watch the preseason game between Giants and Patriots and the others and see what happens. See how that looks. Because it's new for all these guys. Now, Bones has a good feel for it. He helped invent it. But I think you're going to have a chance for someone to carve out that 48th game day spot, 53rd on the active roster, because you're going to stash guys probably. Be that guy. Really great note from Nick Harris, and I'm really glad he did this. This is the nerdy Big J stuff I love. Not Big J, just nerdy analyst stuff. The first team coverage unit on kick return and coverage drills. CJ Goodwin, Hunter Lipke, Nashawn Wright, Jalen Brooks, Eric Scott, John Stevens, Wanye Thomas, Princeton Fant, Marquise Bell, Tyrus Wheat. Those are good names to monitor as you look for who's going to make the back end of your roster. Several guys on that list. Wright, Scott, Stevens, Fant, Wheat. Guys that are not guaranteed a roster spot. And they're out there with the first team special teams. Those last roster spots, Bones Fossil has big influence there. I think that's a good indication of these are guys that have a real chance to make that roster. I think we tend to sleep. I do it too. Tend to sleep on Tyrus Wheat because he's not the same household name. If he's first team special teamer, he'll be your edge 5 or something, and he'll make that roster. You got two tight ends there, Stevens and Fant. Now, maybe not every guy makes that roster, but they're getting a chance to show what they can do at least on special teams.
Another weigh-in. Name a Cowboys versus Rams joint practice winner. Plenty of highlight clips out there for you guys to identify that type of stuff and or listen to what I've said so far today. Name that winner for me in the comments of today's show.
Defensively, I try to watch some of the Rams reporters too because they tend to post, the bigger plays that happen sometimes for the Rams. Look, Kalen Carson had another INT. Much like Tyler Guyton versus Chuma Edoga, I've seen enough. Stop the count. Please stop putting Nashawn Wright out there as the first team corner when Trayvon Diggs is out. He did not do any team stuff today. It was only individual. It's fine. They're just being cautious there. Nothing to be concerned about. Sean Wright got beat for a touchdown. Kalen Carson had one INT, almost picked off another. He's really good. He consistently is making plays. Make him your CB4 behind Bland, Diggs, and Lewis. Eric Scott also got beat, by the way. Really big preseason coming up for those guys. Thought your veterans were good. Thought your linebackers read things pretty well. Eric Kendricks had a really nice read and tackle. Tank Lawrence had some good run-stopping stuff. Again, a lot of the same concerns and stability thoughts we had. I'm still worried about this interior defensive line. I still don't know if it has enough depth behind Osa Odighizuwa is the only one I trust right now at DT, the only one. I will say, Mazi Smith, some really nice reps in 1-on-1 and 2v2. My boy Jeff Kavanaugh made the comment that he thought this was the best Mazi's looked. That's actually a good sign. That's promising because you want to have that growth, that development, that general increase as camp goes along. He better play in the preseason. Make some plays for me, bud.
One more weigh-in. Final weigh-in, I should say. One-word reaction to the Cowboys versus Rams joint practice. Good, bad, lame, indifferent, whatever it is, let me know in the comments of today's show.
All right, let's talk Trey Lance here. I didn't really see that many reps. Again, this was kind of a first-team preseason game for them, basically. They gave a lot of reps to the first team, as they should. He had a really nice, it's like an actual, looked like to me at least on the clip, actual read option RPO where he can either hand it off, scramble, or throw. Not like a normal RPO where it's either he keeps it and runs or gives it to the back, or that was the read option, or for the read option or for the RPO he either gives it to the back or throws it. Seemed like he kind of had all three options there and found John Stevens on a nice play. Cool. I'm glad they're adjusting the offense when he's in there to better maximize his skill set. So tip of the cap to you, Mike McCarthy. That is the exact type of thing you should be doing. I'm not going to read too much into Lance stuff today. I think you are going to have a really important game Sunday against the Rams. He's going to get a ton of reps. He should get a ton of reps, otherwise we're being stupid. So I'm excited to see how Lance looks in the preseason because there's a lot riding on it for Trey Lance. A lot riding on it. No other thoughts on joint practices. Maybe we'll get some more updates as things flow out. But again, it seems like they avoided injury. Brock Hoffman was involved in the one fight. Fight being an understatement there. Before I should have done this earlier because it's already up on screen. Injury updates. Deuce Vaughn did not go with a hamstring. It's bad for him. Peyton Hendershot did not go with a back injury. It's bad for him. Or was it shoulder? It was one of the two for Hendershot. Mukwamu, groin, obviously still out. Royce Freeman did not go with the groin. He went on Wednesday, so we'll see if he goes Sunday. At least he's got a chance for it. I feel like Diggs was again kept out of team stuff, but that's just them being cautious. Guyton seemed to miss a bunch of time with his illness again. We'll see. Again, I don't love those things. And any Guyton out there, I'm tired of seeing Chuma Edoga. After filming, by the way, or after Chris built the graphic to film this part, Nathan Thomas didn't go with unknown injury. He was in sweats, but he was out there. So not with the rehab group, it felt like. So TBD there. Hopefully he's okay. I thought he had shown some good things and was pushing for a roster spot, but we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Hopefully the audio doesn't sound too crazy and doesn't look too weird with the weird hybrid graphics and not a lot of transitions, but did what we had to do to get the video out. So appreciate everyone who has subscribed and watched. If you haven't already, hit that sub button here on the Cowboys Report. Training camp winners and losers tomorrow.